Hello and welcome to Public Report. I'm your host, Desiree Horde, and our guests in the studio today are Rebecca Luchai, and she's the coordinator for the Waukesha County Criminal Justice Collaborating Council. And we also have Sarah Carpenter. She's the Multi-County Services Administrator for Wisconsin Community Services. Our issue is substance abuse, and our topic is drug court. Rebecca and Sarah, it's so nice to have both of you here today.
Thank you for having us.
I'm glad you're here. This question will actually be for both of you, and we'll start with you, Rebecca. Please tell us about yourselves and then your respective roles with the Waukesha County Drug Treatment Court. So we'll start with you, Rebecca.
Okay. I have been the coordinator of the Waukesha County Criminal Justice Collaborating Council since 2008. The CJCC is actually made up of 13 members altogether that meet on a bi-monthly basis, and these members represent criminal justice system stakeholders, and they make decisions about the local criminal justice system as far as decisions for moving forward, needs that must be met and that sort of thing. And so I have a master's degree from the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. And my role with the drug court is that I'm the administrative coordinator for the program. I oversee all of the program operations, and we also have 2 subcontractors as well, and so I oversee the subcontractors that are involved in the program as well.
Okay, great. And then Sarah, the same question for you.
Thank you. I have been employed by Wisconsin Community Services for 23 years, and my role with the drug court is contract oversight on the end of WCS, the nonprofit organization who contracts with the county to provide the case management services. So I have oversight of the staff, daily operations on our end, the budget, and contract compliance.
Okay, wonderful. Rebecca, this question would be for you. Give us a brief overview of the court, when and why it was created.
Back in 2010, Waukesha County needed to study the rising opiate abuse problem within the county. So the CJCC formed an ad hoc committee called the Drug Abuse Trends Committee, which was chaired by our District Attorney Brad Schimmel, and it was comprised of several criminal justice system stakeholders as well as many community treatment providers as well. And that committee met several times to determine what more could we do to address this problem within the county. And one of the primary recommendations of that committee was to apply for a federal grant to start a drug court program within Waukesha County. So shortly after that committee stopped meeting, we applied for a federal grant and were awarded the grant in October of 2011. And the grant is from the U.S. Department of Justice, Bureau of Justice Assistance, and it's a 3-year grant, so it will go through September 30th of 2014. And it basically allows us to address that issue within Waukesha County. We had several months of planning that went into this before we actually started the program. We enrolled our first participants in March of 2012, so just not even a year ago. The program itself, the model is a post-plea predisposition model, and it involves 4 different phases. It's a minimum of 12 months in length altogether. And that's basically about it.
Okay, wonderful. And then Sarah, why is this program focused specifically for dependents with opiate addictions? And then also explain to our viewers, what are opiate drugs?
Okay, the drug treatment court program is not specifically focused on opiate dependent individuals. The primary drug of choice for over 90% of current participants happens to be opiates, and specifically heroin, because that is the cheaper method to get their high. And once they begin using, it is, of course, very addictive, and the withdrawal symptoms are very severe. So heroin just tends to be the drug of choice. We do have one participant who specifically informed us that his drug of choice is cocaine and that he has never used opiate drugs.
Okay. And this question could be for both of you. Is there a connection between opiate use and criminal behavior? Rebecca, we'll start with you.
Yes, I think we definitely see a connection between the two. What we primarily see for those individuals that are drug dependent going through the criminal justice system is that oftentimes they're committing crimes of opportunity in order to sustain their drug habit. And examples of that would be retail theft, burglary, forgery, prostitution, crimes that would be able to generate money quickly so that they can purchase their drugs and continue to use. So we definitely do see a connection, definitely.
Okay. And Sarah, have you noticed that as well?
Yes, from the client's perspective, definitely. Again, they will do anything to support their addiction, including robbing their loved ones, family members. Some of our participants have lost their parental rights due to their criminal behavior and drug use. The addiction and the withdrawals are so severe, they report doing just about anything to obtain their next high.
Now, Sarah, let's talk about what the treatment involves. And Rebecca had mentioned that there were different phases. So if you could tell us a little bit about what the treatment involves and maybe what some of those phases might be.
Sure. To be eligible for the program, we utilize 2 different screening instruments, and participants have to score high risk, high need on those instruments and to be eligible for the program. And treatment takes place primarily through the Department of Health and Human Services in Waukesha County. About 80% of current participants seek their assessment and treatment there. If they have private insurance and choose to seek out a local provider, they can do that as well. But again, the majority of participants are seeking treatment at the Department of Health and Human Services. And treatment consists primarily of intensive outpatient programming. And phase 1 can be anywhere from 6 to 12 weeks long, meeting 3 times a week and 3 hours a session. And then phase 2, which has a special focus on specialized aftercare, meets 1 time per week, and it consists of an individual face-to-face meeting, again, anywhere from 6 to 12 weeks, depending on the progress of the individual.
And then Rebecca, now what is the cost of this program? Is there a cost for the defendants to go through this program?
There actually is not a cost for the participants at all. Our federal grant from the Bureau of Justice Assistance is for a total of $300,000 over 3 years. So the total program cost is approximately $100,000 a year. That includes case management. It also includes ongoing drug testing, program evaluation as well by Temple University is who we subcontract with. And it also includes supportive services for the clients, such as transportation assistance and program incentives. And that also includes ongoing training for staff as well. But there is no cost to the participants to participate.
Okay. And Sarah, what can happen to the defendants' charges after they have completed this program?
Participants enter into what's called a deferred prosecution agreement with the court when they enter into the program. And upon successful completion of the program, which could be a minimum of 1 year up to 18 months, or just individually depending on their progression through the 4 phases of the program, once they successfully complete and graduate from the program, they can have their charges amended down to a lesser charge, for example, from a felony to a misdemeanor charge. In some cases, their charge can be completely dismissed or expunged or eliminated from their record.
And how many defendants are in the program?
Currently, we have 27 participants in the program, and 33% are female and 67% of participants are male.
Now, is that full capacity, or is there a waiting list for people that maybe want to enter this program?
There is a current wait list of 9 individuals, and originally when we started the program, because the staffing pattern or the budget supports one full-time case manager. And these individuals, as mentioned earlier, are high risk, high need. We started out with a program capacity of 25 individuals with everything that's involved with supervision. But as participants move through the later phases of the program, there are 4 phases, and the requirements become less as they move through the phases. We will look at increasing that capacity, as well as participants are discharged or successfully complete the program, then we do all we can to minimize the wait list.
Right. And then Rebecca, this would be for you. What are some of the challenges involved in administering the drug court?
I think one of the major things that we see is, as Sarah had touched on, the high demand for the program, but the limited number of slots that we have available due to the capacity of the case manager. So that's probably our biggest challenge. In order to kind of address that, the CJCC actually formed recently the Drug Treatment Court Subcommittee. And this committee will be chaired by Judge William Domina, who is our drug court judge. And the group will meet regularly and be able to talk about operational issues such as this and challenges to the program to hopefully work through many of those and find solutions for those, definitely.
And then how will you be able to determine, obviously, the effectiveness of the drug court?
As I had mentioned earlier, we subcontract for the evaluation of the program with Temple University. We have Dr. Matt Hiller, who's actually doing the evaluation of the program, and a research assistant as well. They will be completing a process evaluation, which basically will take a look at whether or not the program adheres to best practices that are set forth by the National Association of Drug Court Professionals. In addition to that, they will also be completing an outcome evaluation as well, which will take a look at different measurements throughout the program. Each participant that's enrolled in the program will be looked at. Such things will be measured as their participation in treatment, if they have any failed drug tests, if they have any rearrests during the program. In addition to that, they will also be tracked when they complete the program as well, to be able to take a look at whether or not there is recidivism of graduates from the program or those that unsuccessfully were discharged from the program too. So it's a pretty thorough evaluation that's being done, and those results will be published when they're finished.
Okay. What are the benefits to the defendant as well as the public of someone getting free of opiate addiction?
Really, our number one goal with the program is to reduce the overdose deaths within the county. That's really our number one goal with this. So really, that's the benefit that we're looking for. That's the outcome that we're looking for. I think subsequent to that, there's a lot of benefits to the community in that these individuals will not be committing crimes related to their drug abuse. So we hope to have an impact on the crime rate within the community. And then also related to that is that we really hope to see a savings for the taxpayers in that these individuals won't be recirculating through our jail, and they won't be recirculating through the emergency rooms for overdoses on these drugs. So we hope to have that impact overall.
Right. Well, Rebecca and Sarah, it's been wonderful speaking with both of you today, and thank you so much for coming to the program today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you. We've been speaking with Rebecca Luchai. She's the coordinator for the Waukesha County Criminal Justice Collaborating Council, and also Sarah Carpenter. She's the Multi-County Services Administrator for Wisconsin Community Services. Our issue has been substance abuse and our topic, drug court. Thank you so much for viewing Public Report.